everybody, welcome back to Adventure World in Godot. Alright, so in this video I'm going to make a quick video hopefully, and we're going to add in this main menu here. So to kind of piece this game together and start getting it going as a full game, we've got to have a menu system. So let's jump into that. Now I'm not super good with menus, so I may add a link or two down in the description for other videos that I found that I liked, that they went into a little bit more depth than I will. But we'll just cover a simple one here. So I'm going to create a new scene, alright? And I don't want this bright blue background. So what I'm going to do is create a background, and I'm going to do that much like what we did with the overlay. I'm going to pick that color rect, and this actually needs to be in a canvas. So let's first make a node 2D for our base, and we'll call this main menu. Alright, and then on top of that we'll add a canvas layer, and on top of that we'll add our color rect. Alright, and we don't need to go super crazy with the names here because they won't, we won't be working on this page too much. One thing I did want to cover is these anchors. I don't think we've messed with them too much, so we'll just cover them real quickly. So this is a number from 0 to 1, and so I'm going to adjust these two right here. I think we did cover this in the background video, so I'll just cover this real quickly. So I need to save my scene, so I'm going to save it right here in the root. I'm not going to put it in my levels folder, I'm just going to put it down here in the root. And let's change this color rect to, let's pick like a dark, kind of a blue-gray, and we'll see why I'm not going full black in a second. So got that. Let's also bring in a picture, and I've already made a graphic for this, and I did it just like what we did for the game over. Let's see, menu. Yeah, so I've got this title, Adventure World. So I did the little bullets and all that stuff just like before. I'm turning on the expand on scale so that I can move this. Now if I move it like this, I may warp my image a little bit, so if you hold down the shift button, it'll force it to keep the aspect ratio. So I'm going to zoom it up a little bit and move it here sort of in the center. Now if I was good, I would use the sub controls in here, these containers that have like a center container and these H and V box containers to make everything align real well, but we're just doing a quick and dirty one here, so I'm just positioning them absolutely by just dragging and dropping them where I want them. Alright, so I need to change the color on this, so let's modulate that white to, say, a nice green, maybe saturate it a little bit. That looks pretty good. And then let's see, so the reason I did that kind of grayish blue background is so that my shadowing shows through, because if I'd gone with complete black, that shadowing would have disappeared and this image would have looked a lot more flat. Alright, so we've got that. So now we just need a couple of buttons. That'll get it working. So let's add a button, and let's see, in here there's a base button, and we have all kinds of different buttons. I'm going to use this texture button, and I pulled from some images from Kenny's assets, and he's got these different button icons. And so under textures here, you can drag in a normal and then a pressed. And we'll see how that works in just a minute. So let's drag this button right here, and we'll make this one the exit button. Alright, and I couldn't find a way to add text directly on a texture button, and I'm guessing they intended for you to add the text into the image, but I'm wanting to use the same image for multiple buttons. So what I'm going to do is add a label on top of the button. We'll see that here real quick. and then I'll change the text to exit. And you'll notice that's super tiny and the wrong color, so let's go down to visibility and modulate, and let's make that black is probably fine. But even if I center that, and I can use this layout center, and that'll get me right dead in the center, which is nice. But even if I use that, my text is super tiny, and if I zoom it using the scale here, rect scale. So if I zoom it using this, right, it gets kind of blurry. And so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use a custom font. We'll get to see how that works. And I'm going to use the bitmap font is a font that's made from an image, and the image is divided up by the letters. But a dynamic font is a regular font like what you use in Windows. So we're going to use that. For the font data, I've pulled in another Kenny asset, and he's got these Kenny fonts, and I've just pulled that one in, and now you see it, it's there, but it's super tiny. Matter of fact, it's not even hardly displaying, and the reason for that is this size is 0. So let's go ahead and set that to something larger, and that might be a little bit too large. I think that's okay. We may need to readjust our button. So on this button, if you select this expand, then we can change the size of this button, and you see the extents stay pretty good. So let's do that. Now let's go back to our label, and let's make sure that's nice and tight on there, and let's recenter it. There we go. That looks pretty good. Alright, so what I'm going to do on this is I'm going to select the button behind, because I can accidentally click this, and if I try and move it, I'll be moving my text instead. So I'm going to click the button, and I'm going to lock that with that, so that now even if I click on the text, I'm moving the whole button. Alright, and now I'm going to duplicate this, because we need a like a start button, and let's call this new game. Alright, so this will be our new game button. Let's go into the label and change that to new game. Alright, obviously this is not going to fit, so let's go back to our button and we'll extend it out a little bit. Go back to our label and let's recenter it. And this is where if I was using the layout controls, I could probably add to the button, I could probably add a center control, or a center container right there, and I could set its extents to the anchors to the whole box of the button, right? And then the label I would put inside, and the label would automatically center itself. So anyways, let's make that a little bit bigger. Now the problem here is these buttons are going to look funny now that they don't match, so let's go ahead and stretch that one to match. And let's see, new game, centered. Alright, good deal. Now so just move my background. Matter of fact, let's lock that so I don't move that on accident. And same on this. Now for this, you could center it on the top and then scoot it down a little bit. That way I get my left to right centered. Let's lock that too. And for my buttons, I'm just going to leave them here because we may add a little bit of animation in the background. So real quick, I want to tie these buttons up. And to do that, just like with our collision shapes and all that kind of stuff, we can add a signal to these. So if I go to my exit button, because it's the easy, oh, we need a script first. So let's add a script up here on the main node, or main menu. And we'll just wipe out all that because we don't need it. Let's go back, let's go back to here, click on our exit button, and node, signal, and then button pressed. We'll just connect that up. And so this will happen when we click that exit button. And all we need to do here is just exit right out of the game, and that's done with a get tree dot quit. There we go. So now if we run the game, well, so we're jumping right into the game, and the reason for that is, or into our level, under project settings, a long time ago when we set up the game, this property right here under general application run, main scene. So this is the start scene of your game. So I just need to change this to my main menu. Alright, so now if I play the game, I'll pop right into my main menu. Now you can, real quick, if you're editing on a level and you just want to test this one level, you can actually use this play button up here, the play scene, and it'll play that scene directly. So if you have a long process to get to some scene, you can use that in order to get there without having to change your project settings every time. Alright, so we tested the exit button, I believe. So now let's let's tie this one in. So I want to start the game, which just means I need to load level 1 when you click New Game. So let's click on New Game, button pressed, connect that signal, and here we'll just load our level. So a long time ago we made the scene loader, and it has a load scene, and we have to give it a path. So it's res : levels / level1.tscn. And the way I would find that is if I looked over here and I found my levels. There's the res : there's the levels, and here's the level1.tscene. Alright, and I'd set up this spawn group name, so that's like where he spawns in. If I leave it null, it should just go straight to my default. Alright, so I think that's got us running. Yeah. So if I click New Game, I go into the game. One more thing. So when I die, I want to load that level. Remember, we added that trigger so that we'll print it, but we didn't actually tie it in. So right here, after that death animation plays and the game over animation plays, then we show this go to main menu. So let's do that here. So let's do the scene loader.load scene, and we'll just go back to the main menu. And again, null, because we don't have a position to set to. And so now if I play this, I should be able to New Game, and if I run into some spikes and die, I get the game over message, a nice little delay, and I go back to the main menu. Here I could start another new game, or I can exit. Alright, so I think we've done a good job tying in the main menu. One little tweak I'm going to make while I'm in here is I'm going to lower that delay just a little bit on the animation player for the game over. Made it actually, that's not bad. Made it 4 seconds. Alright, so we'll leave that alone. Yeah, so thanks for watching, and next video we may spice this up a little bit, but I don't want to spend too much time on the main menu because my daughter's been really bugging me to make this more challenging and add some monsters, and I'm pretty excited to get into that as well. So hopefully we'll get into monsters real soon, and my plan is to have at least 2 types of monsters and then maybe a boss monster that you need to fight in order to beat the game. But we may play around with some other things too. So alright, thanks for watching. Bye.